Everybody, Mega Ruler 31 back here for FSI DFS. We have a lot of baseball today. There are 17 games between 3 slates. So for this video, I'm going to be doing the early slate, which is on both DK and FanDuel. It's a 3-game, both the first games of double headers. That starts at 2:10 p.m. on the Eastern time zone. And then I am going to cover the turbo one, which is 4-game nice slate for 6:40 p.m. And then I will do a separate video. So check back to the channel and then you'll find the one for the main. So starting out with early, like I said, we have 3 games of double headers. Minor weather concern with Kansas City. The late one really looks bad with rain. So the biggest problem here is nobody can agree on who the pitchers are going to be. So I'll try to go through what the options are and what to do in pivots, and then just check the comments, because that's where once we get a clearer picture of who's actually going to be, if there's any changes, we'll let you know there. So always check back the video. We try to put postponements, or if there's major changes or major scratches or things like that. So watch the video, then come back about half an hour before lock and see if there's any other additional notes. And people ask some really good questions here too, so you can probably come back and benefit from their knowledge. So starting out, we have the White Sox in Kansas City. Looks like about a 30% chance rain later in the game. I think they probably get this in. Dylan Cease, they have scheduled to start. They have Giolito scheduled to start the later game, coming back from COVID IL. But if that game's canceled, I don't know if Giolito gets pushed up because he's been off for a while and pitches in this game. I think either one would be a decent option here, and probably the best pitcher on the slate. For Kansas City, I've seen Singer and I've seen Hensley. I think Hensley's going to do the second game. Singer, the first one. Doesn't matter. Do not want any of these Kansas City guys. Not because the White Sox, I think, are a juggernaut offensively, just because I just don't think that they go very long or do very well here. So bat-wise, I think you really like the White Sox bats here against whoever it is. And Kansas City, I think they're just kind of like they're not even a cheap leverage stack here. They're still priced up for Coors, way overpriced. I try and move them from the cheap category over to the leverage category here. I think they'll have low ownership, and there's really no reason to play any of them unless you're maxing out this very small slate here. So not advised. Next, you have St. Louis and the Mets. I've seen Mikolas. DK has Ovidio. I think Mikolas would probably be the later slate one. Ovidio has been called up for AAA a couple times to make spot starts. He's got about 5 ERA, about 1 home run or 2 home runs a game. Nothing really special here. Really struggles against lefties, righties. He's been average against. So he's on my fade list also. Trevor Williams on the other side too, 8K, way too expensive, not interested at all. St. Louis has put up a lot of runs recently, and I think they're probably the top stack on the slate here. The Mets, I think, make a good GPP option. I like them better against Ovidio if he's the one, but if it's Mikolas, then probably not going to be playing them. And then finally, we have the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. We have Merrill Kelly, who's actually had a pretty solid start to the season. And I think the Dodgers aren't going to roll out their A lineup here because they're playing like 30 games in like 31 days or something. I saw the statistic. So Pepperott is probably coming back into the rotation because Kershaw's out with this groin injury. So they need somebody. I don't think Pepperott is a great option, but I think he's like cheap and can get enough to pay off his price tag here with not many options. Kelly, I really like too. If you can find the salary and go Kelly and Cease in cash, I think we're fine with that, because like I said, I think the Dodgers are going to rest some people. So I don't think you're going to have the full-blown lineup in either the day game or the night game. So I think that kind of helps the pitchers. And actually the pitcher, if it's going to be Caleb Smith, if you see Caleb Smith here in the early game over Merrill Kelly, then load up on the Dodgers bats. They just jump to the top. He is absolutely horrible. I think he's going to be in the later game, and that's why the Dodgers make a great stack for the main slate. But if for some reason you see it's Caleb Smith over Merrill Kelly, play the Dodgers here. The Arizona Diamondbacks, I think, they make a cheap stack against Pepperot. The bullpen's decent, but they really got to space things out. So I think you have Anderson pitching for the Dodgers later tonight. If for some reason he comes out, and then he's definitely going to be a lock with Cisse or whoever the White Sox pitcher is here. So those are what the different options are. So let's just look at it. It's kind of, again, like I said, Cisse, I think, is, if he's there, it's fine. If it's Giolito, like, he's only 8.5 on main. Hopefully it's the same price. Let me see if I can check that quick here. What did they price him on this slate? Giolito, yep, 8.5. So perfect. If that is who is they're going to roll out there, then I'm fine with him here. That he's $2,000 too cheap. Even coming back from COVID, he's good there. Kelly, like Mikolas, if he's in. So how am I going to do this? So cash, Cisse, I think you put him in there. I think I'm just going to probably take Pepperot as a cheap SP2 if I can get up to Kelly, and I might go there. Mikolas if he's in, but I think those are really the only options that we're looking at. Really want to stack St. Louis here. So Goldsmith, Edmund, Ariano, Yepes, but then again, check, because maybe a good cheap guy's in the lineup and leading off or batting really high has a split advantage, because with all these teams playing two, these lineups could be very funky. So look at them carefully, and you might see some value pop, and that might help you be able to pay up for another pitcher. And I think I'm going to kind of fill in with White Sox here. The rest, and I'm probably gonna punt catcher. I think probably McGuire, the White Sox at 2.2, but there's some other cheap guys too you can throw in there too. So that's where I'm looking at cash. I think St. Louis is priority, unless Caleb Smith is the pitcher for Arizona. Then I definitely want to go the Dodgers here as my main stack. So for GPPs, we are looking at, if I can get the arrow to move to reveal the column, that'd be great. There we go. So Kelly, if it's not Mikolas, if it is the AAA guy for St. Louis pitching, I want the Mets. So I'm probably going with Varcheo at catcher, because I'll have enough things there. Probably Pepperot. Probably wouldn't go him if I'm going to stack some Arizona guys. So I don't know who I'm going to go with SP2 here, but like Kelly, I think is my SP1. And then I'm going to go with Alonso, Lindor, Marte, Nemo. Give me the Mets against the St. Louis guy, especially get in as many lefties as you can, but his numbers against lefties are horrible. On the other side, if Mikolas is going to be the pitcher for St. Louis, then I think I'm going to punt catcher, probably maybe play the White Sox guy there too. Then I think I'm going to take the Dodgers, Freeman, Turner, Betts, whoever's in there. Might be able to get another cheap one going on there. And then I think I'm going to pair with them. Let's see, who did I put in there? Probably St. Louis guys again. Yeah, probably going to play some St. Louis guys in there too. A mix of them and White Sox in this GPP. But I think, I want to try to get the Dodgers in if the Mets aren't an option. If they're up against Mikolas, I don't like that as much as I like them against the rookie. So SP2, I think I might actually have to throw Singer or the KC guy there in the GPP, and just hope that the White Sox have watered down lineup and don't hit really well. That they can just kind of just get value and not lose me any points there. It might be even a thing where I take a relief pitcher for somebody someplace, like a closer that I think is in a good situation. So just kind of punt SP2 there just to try to get the bats in. So that kind of covers the early slate. Again, like I said, it's going to be very up in the air with what lineups are going to be, what the pitchers might be compared to what we're looking at right now at 9 in the morning. We have till 2 o'clock. So I said, if anything changes, check the comments back and we'll get you up to date there. So let's go to the afternoon slate. So The afternoon slate, we have 4 games. It's I don't think there's any weather. It's not afternoon, it's kind of like evening, so it's the turbo one. So weather looks good everywhere. You got 2 games in a dome and 2 games in no rain, wind blowing in a little bit in Philly, but actually looks like a nice game, wind blowing in a little bit in Cleveland also. So pitching, or I'll just go through the games here. So Cincinnati and Cleveland, you have Overton and Plesac. I know Cleveland had a really hot start. They don't strike out a ton. But Overton has not been a bad pitcher. So I think for your SP2, you're going to pick between Plesac and Overton. Plesac started out well. He's had some rough outings recently. So, but Cincinnati is Cincinnati, and Cincinnati scored a ton of runs in Cincinnati, but then they went out to Pittsburgh. In the first game of the series, I think they scored like 6, but then I think they had like 2, and then they were kind of not no hit, but they like didn't score any runs. They were shut out in the last game on Sunday. So looking at the lineup, I think, Plesac can definitely, it's not a huge K guy, but I think that he'll be able to maybe get some extra ones from Cincinnati. So like I said, it's either one of these pitchers I think could be your SP2 here. It makes a lot of sense. Bat wise, I think, Cleveland, definitely they've got a pretty high total at 4.47. So I think they could be a decent stack, but I wouldn't rule out a Cincinnati stack. They're so cheap, but in the context of this slate with only really one pitcher to pay up for and all the other pitchers in the 7K range, you really don't need Cincinnati. If you want to be a little bit different and think Plesac continues to struggle, then that makes sense. You're going to leave a lot of salary on the board, which is fine. Leave it on the table if you like your lineup in these smaller slates, and that's sometimes what can win you GPPs. So next up, we have the Nationals and the Marlins. Adon against Poteet. Adon has not had a good season so far. He's really not putting up a ton of points or getting strikeouts or anything. Let's look at his stats. He's got 7.03 ERA. He does have 29 strikeouts in the game, so he's averaging about like anywhere from 3 to 5 strikeouts. But the Marlins are actually, it's a good pitcher park, so I think he's still a fade. Not really interested in there. And Poteet, he's a good rookie that's going to have a lot of potential, but he's really just not going deep in the games. He's going 1 or 2 innings and then like 4 innings max last time out. And now he used to be like minimum price, and now he's up to like 5.7. So he's got a 0.55 ERA, 14 strikeouts. So he hasn't been giving up hits or runs. So I think that he potentially could be, maybe I'll take him out of the fade category here and put him in the cheap one. But I don't think he's going to go very deep. I don't think he's going to put up, he had 13 DK points last time out. So maybe if he gets like 10 to 12 at 5.6, I think that's workable, but I really don't think you need to go this cheap with like the context of the slate, but just keep them in mind just in case here. You have both bats. I think Miami has the highest total at 4.8, which I think that might be a little bit high. I don't think Adon is that bad in a pitcher's ballpark, but we'll see here. And Washington is a 3.7 total, which I think is a little bit low because Miami doesn't have a great bullpen. And Poteet, even though he has limited runs to start out, if he's only going like 3-4 innings max, then I think they can put up runs after that. I know Washington isn't like a explosive offense by any means, but they do have some guys that can hit. Nelson Cruz isn't in there. Maybe they're factoring that in, but still, I think some of the other guys that are in there are decent enough, especially when you have Bell and Soto on a team. So I think, GPP stack for them. Detroit and Tampa Bay, Shane McClanahan, lock him in, SP1 against Detroit, everything. 20-point floor, potentially up to 30, should have a great game. Biggest favorite, Detroit only has 2.55 run implied total. Brisky is the one that's facing Tampa Bay. This guy is straight up, he pitches about 4 innings every single game, and he scores exactly like 90K points every single game, it seems like, on average. So Actually, no, he's 5 to 6 innings. He gets about 3 strikeouts, goes about 5 innings, and gets about 90K points. So not super interested in him at all, but especially like in the medium range. So I don't know why he's in the medium one here. I think just talking this out, he is going to move over to the fade side because I just really I thought there was some floor there, but not really at 7-8 if he was cheaper potentially. So Tampa Bay, I think it could be one of the second favorite stack on the board here. And Detroit is only a leverage play on a small slate. You're probably going to stack everybody just in case. And I think McClanahan just dominates. So then you have Mike Clevenger probably making, I think, about his third start coming back from rehab. He had Tommy John surgery, then he had a knee injury. He also hit 13 DK points last time out. He hasn't gone past 4 innings. 6K is about 95 pitches. Giving up a couple walks. So I just, against this Philly offense, I don't really trust him. I think I'm going to fade him. Maybe he gets up to 5 innings, but I think they're bringing him along slowly. So I don't think there's really any need to play him, especially at 8-4 when you have all these guys, Plesac, Overton, and Eflin on the other side that are a little cheaper and decent in matchups. So Eflin on the other side, he's coming back from COVID also. I don't know that how sick he was or anything like that. He's been sidelined since May 8th. Feeling better. He did throw some simulated games and stuff to try to keep him fresh while he was out. Rough outing against the Mets. He only put up like 0.4 DK points. He gave up 5 earned runs, but before that, he was decent. You're still only looking probably for like a score in the teens, so that's why he's like third in the medium range. And San Diego can have a decent offense from time to time also. So I think San Diego makes a good GPP stack behind Miami. And then I think the Phillies are probably the top stack on the slate. So look at some breakdowns here. McClanahan, lock him in SP1. SP2, I think you're looking at one of the guys in the 7K range probably, or I don't think you really need to drop down to Poteet. I think Plesac I'm going to go with is my SP2 here. I think he's probably going to be the most popular combination there. Catcher wise, there's really no cheap options. Like JT Realmuto is the 3rd cheapest catcher and has probably like the 2nd highest projection. So like, why not play him? It just doesn't make sense to drop down to a guy that's probably hitting 4th in a good matchup versus like, I think the Marlins guy is like the cheapest guy and he's only like $400 cheaper and he's batting 9th. And again, like I said, I like the Miami against, but I really think JT Realmuto is a steal at that price in this context of the slate. So I'm going to stack Tampa Bay and Philly here probably. I think Brujan is scheduled to be in the lineup here. He's really cheap at second base, should be batting potentially 2nd or 3rd. Baum is also pretty cheap in the lineup, batting 2nd or 3rd. Franco and Schwarber. I don't know if Harper is going to be in lineup. He's dealing with a UCL tear. He's not fielding. He's DHing most of the time. He did have an off day on Sunday. Got a rest day yesterday also. So we'll have to see. He's probably back in the lineup. So if he's not in and you just want to one-off like Soto or somebody else there, then that's fine. Maybe pay up for like Quan in Cleveland. I take a couple of pieces of Cleveland. I wouldn't like fully stack Cleveland. But I think you can fill in if some of these Phillies or Tampa Bay guys aren't in the lineup. I think, they'd be the 3rd team to fill things in with. So then I think I like Overton here for in GPP just because like he's had solid numbers on all of his starts and Cleveland can struggle at times. Pair him with Plesac or maybe like, pay up for somebody else. But I think the first route I kind of want to go is like in GPP is just stack that Miami and Washington game. So Ruiz, if you want to pay up for catcher, Stallings if you can't. There's tons of options at first base, like Bell, Hosmer. One of the Florida guys, they have like 3 guys I think eligible at first base, so it's really hard to stack that team. Jazz, Machado, or Anderson at third, Rojas, Sanchez from Florida, or from Miami, is the sorry, I'm still calling the Florida Marlins. I just remember when they came out in '92. I still haven't adjusted to the change yet. Still getting used to Cleveland being the Guardians too. Soto here, and then whoever to fill in. I think I really like, if I'm doing like a Miami stack, I'm probably gonna do like a wraparound, because like especially if you're using Stalling as the catcher, like some of the cheaper guys towards the bottom of the lineup wrapping around to Jazz, or maybe even using like Soler as the outfielder there works, because you just like, if you try to stack like the middle of the order, like you have 2 or 3 first basemen, and like with the positions overlapping, you can only play them once on DK. You just can't do it on FanDuel. It's a little bit easier, but you only get 4 of them anyway. So I think that's what we're going to do for the turbo slate. So again, a couple of neat slates here if you have some time this afternoon or early evening, want to make some money. But if you're just kind of scared with all the volatility here, then I completely understand. Then check out the main video. The main is not a bad slate tonight. Couple weather issues, but I think we've got some options. You got Coors Field, you got some decent pitching options, so that's gonna looking pretty good. So if you have a question about this slate, hit me up at Twitter at Megaro31. Leave some comments below. If you want for more information about FSI DFS, check out the description of our video and all the information on our website, on our Twitter account, on our Discord, how to join there. There are definitely a bunch of things in our Discord that are subscription based, but there are some free things there too to help you out for some other of the niche sports if you want to just expand your DFS knowledge and try some of those things with some coaching advice and some lineup cores free of charge, and then check that out too. So appreciate you watching. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel so you know when our videos are coming out, share with your friends, and come back in a little bit and join me for the evening breakdown for the main slate. So good luck in this afternoon one, and I'll see you soon.